reached the pinnacle of women's bowling, the USBC Queen's title. Can she add a intercollegiate singles title to her mantle? 3 other women stand in her way, including last year's runner-up, Tannya Roumimper, who would love to make up for last year's loss. The intercollegiate women's singles title is next.
Welcome to the 2014 X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships. Now let's meet the finalists. From Wichita State University, Heather Melvin. From Wichita State University, Tannya Roumimper. From the University of Nebraska, Elise Bolton. From Weber International University, Tannya Zavjalova.
And here's how our foursome got here. Heather Melvin and Tannya Roumimper, our first match. Wichita State teammates Elise Bolton and the Queen's champion, Tannya Zavjalova. This is a deep and talented field in this women's singles competition. Hello again, everybody, along with Carolyn Doran-Ballard, who, by the way, bowled a little bit of college herself. I'm Dave Lamont, and this atmosphere can unnerve some people. We're in a beautiful big convention center. We got a crowd. The lights are on. How do you deal with all of that?
Well, absolutely, it is nerve-wracking, especially when you're bowling in front of your teammates and your parents. But one of the things that you really had to focus on is calming your heart rate down. So one of the great things that I learned was breathing in through your nose, holding it just for a second, and breathing out through the mouth. And we've seen that a lot on TV out of a lot of these college players, and I really do think it helps.
It's funny, they all say we want to take it one shot at a time, live in that moment, and they're obviously doing just that. Now, this is a great group. I'm going to have to ask you for a prediction.
Well, this is an awesome group, and honestly, I really like all of them, but I'm going to go out on a limb again, and I'm going to say I'm going with the experience. I think Tannya is really riding a wave right now, and she's really hard to beat.
Well, you've got Tannya Roumimper, who was in this tournament a year ago on this show and lost in the finals, and of course, Zavjalova is the reigning Queen's champion. It is going to be a spectacular series of matches. As always, an energetic gathering every time we are with the ITC, and in this case, the Intercollegiate Singles Championship. And Heather Melvin on the left, Tannya Roumimper, both from Wichita State, roommates, best pals, teammates, of course. Tannya, finalist in the show last year, and lost to Christina Michelson from Nebraska. So another try for Tannya Roumimper. To a good start. In talking to both these ladies, Carolyn, they both talked about how important it was to keep their minds quiet. Now, how would you interpret that?
Basically, that's, being a little more focused on where your mental game is at the moment. You don't want all these thoughts going in your head. And one of the best coaches, Del Warren, said, in the back of the thinking box on the lane, it's time to play.
Heather Melvin certainly getting off to a fantastic start with that perfect pocket strike. Carolyn, what are we bowling on?
Here we go. 41 feet, medium volume of oil. So again, look at this lane graph. Pretty flat pattern. It's going to dictate where you play. The girls like to play straighter, lower rev rates. That break point is about 5, 6, 7. As we can see, though, Tannya has moved a little bit more into the track. This pattern should create hold for the girls.
And Melvin kicked out the 7-10. This is a fantastic four. The next match we've talked a little bit about already, Bolton and Zavjalova. But these two are tremendous bowlers. Heather Melvin really had to fight her way through. She qualified out of the 16 that made it 16th. So it was a difficult path for her to get to the show. She she got into a shootout with Danielle McEwen, who, by the way, is a pretty gifted player. 736 to 724.
Wow.
And Tannya had to defeat another Wichita teammate, Kelsey Muther, 679 to 656 in round 3 to get to the semifinal. Tannya was excused from the first round.
I think those buys are pretty important because you get to watch the bowling and see how you may want to play the lanes when you get to match play.
Through the face, and boy, she got a gigantic break, knocking the split aside.
She's opted to move a little bit left of where she was playing them in practice. Her break point was about 5-6 in practice. She's moved in to get that break point about 9-10. Miss left, not quite the hold that deep yet. That's why everybody's been playing further right.
Tannya's family is quite a ways away in Asia. So Heather, you know, you're allowed 2 people to sit with you. So Heather has her mom and dad there, Mike and Daphne.
That's actually, that shows you exactly what college bowling is all about. I mean, it's unbelievable, the family atmosphere and how everyone takes care of each other.
That's a great ball right there. Fantastic by Tannya.
Much more aggressive through this shot. Shot on the right lane seemed a little slow, much more aggressive. You could see that by her follow through. Ball gets down the lane just a little bit further. Great reaction.
Now I got to continue this because I don't want to overdo it, but you see Mark Lewis there, the women's coach of Wichita State. Heather Melvin is dialed in. Well, Wichita had to divide the coaches as well because you are allowed a coach. Mark, coach of the year, by the way, in the women's game. And this whole situation is so unusual.
It is, but it shows you the strength of the program. They have enough coaches to bring them all here to the ITC so that everybody is taken care of. So that's a testament to the program.
So Nate Bohr is over taking care as the coach for Heather. And at the moment, Heather's listening and performing until that shot. 3, 6, 7, 10. And the first shot of hers has been rise so far in this match.
One of the things Heather did before she started this match with 2 practice balls to go, she took her wrist brace off to be a little bit more flat up the back of it and get the ball into a roll and lay off. That shot, she got around just a little bit, and you can see the result.
Tough shot. Almost converted that. So the first mistake by either player in the match in the early going, and Tannya Roumimper is the beneficiary, I should say. Up 12.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling.
With a spot in the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship on the line, move ahead to the 8th frame. Tannya Roumimper and Heather Melvin, both from Wichita State. You see their situation right here. Roumimper with the advantage. Oh, I didn't get a break at all on that 10-pin. But her numbers looking good through 8.
Great shot, comes in just a little half pocket. Pin goes in front of the 10. She'll switch balls. The ball goes straight, spare ball, shoot right at it.
And no trouble at all for the player of the year in women's college bowling. And you see her road to the final. She qualified 5th. And again, had to beat her teammate and barely did so. That's some outstanding bowling. No, 668 and then 6 had to up her game and did. Kelsey bowled leadoff for Wichita State in the team competition. Opening maybe for Heather Melvin. 4, 6, 7, 10, the big 4.
Disastrous shot. Did not look that bad off her hand at all. Lanes could be breaking down. Ball went right through the nose. I mean, she had a lot of action on the back end.
Well, this is called the foundation frame for many reasons, as she boldly went for it. She sits at 183, so she can still max 213. Heather Melvin can max 214.
And that's one of those shots, too. It didn't look so bad off her hand. Looked like it went straight through the fronts, just like she's been doing, but maybe just a little bit slow, or lanes could be breaking down.
Melvin broke down to 5.7, but she won't be rolling at 214. A strike there would have been a big boost to her chances, but she is not out of it.
Frames. When she started the game, she was much lower to the line, using her leg. You can see her leg is a little more stiff at the line. And when you start to throw it with your upper body, and I do because I experienced this, and a lot of times it is because of nerves. You know, it's nerves, or you just get a little ahead of yourself. But when you start throwing it with your upper body, that's, you know, you lose rotation.
Great ball. 10 straight back for Melvin to start off the 10th frame. 194 is her maximum.
Rocket to the pocket. That was pretty hard and straight. I'm going to suspect she's going to do that for 2 more shots.
And that will force Roumimper to mark. She has to strike here. Flat 10. So if she converts this, all Tannya Roumimper will have to do is get 2 pins to win this match and move to the finals against either Zavjalova Weber or Elise Bolton from the University of Nebraska. And that's exactly what we have.
And if you look at both games, not that bad. They each had just one bad frame, in where it basically cost her the match.
And Roumimper was clean until the foundation, and it turns out that split won't hurt her. Sometimes I guess it's when you do it. It hurt Heather Melvin in the 4th. So Tannya Roumimper will move on to the finals for the 2nd consecutive year. Will she take the trophy home this time?
That'll be $17.94.
How about we call it 13?
How about we what?
14?
Ma'am, we don't haggle on price.
$15.50.
Wichita State defeating her teammate and best friend Heather Melvin 203 to 184. So for the 2nd straight year, Tannya is in the finals. She didn't win it last year, and she's going to have a difficult opponent no matter who comes out of this match that's about to take place. The Bowling.com Youth Open West region will take place June 21 through 22 in Lakewood, California. It's a national tournament with no average requirement. A great chance to have some fun, make some friends. Check out bowl.com/Youth Open West region to get the details. Our 2 players certainly experienced in being on television. Elise Bolton bowled in this show a couple of years ago in Lincoln. Backyard for her. She is a student at the University of Nebraska, and she will go first. And her opponent is the reigning Queens champion from Weber International, Zavjalova. And Elise a little bit light there, leaves a tricky start.
Last few minutes of practice, both girls were seeing the lanes go through a transition, weren't very comfortable. Elise's options: stay with the strong ball, try to make it work, don't know if it's going to hit, or ball up and move into the track and just play really straight. She's opted for the stronger ball, try to get around that 9-10 area with a little bit of belly in the front. Not sure that's the right choice, but we'll see.
No, she makes it very difficult spare to shake that one loose. Even though she's been on this program before, she might have a case of nerves battling. Now, Zavjalova will tell you she doesn't like cameras, but she's okay with these cameras that we have here. She's not crazy about interviews and things like that. Very personable, however, and very good. Senior from Latvia. familiar to you? Did you watch the 2013 Queens, USBC Queens a year ago? Because you saw a lot of this. Diana winning it in Las Vegas. Beating a great field, as we always have whenever we get the Queens television show together. Across the face, and she gets to Brooklyn.
And talking to Randy Stoughton, her ball rep and coach at Weber, he said, I'm trying to get her to go off the back of it a little more because I made the comment, hey, you're getting around it. She's getting around it a little bit. And he said, yeah, I'm trying to get her up the back of it. I don't like her hold left when she's getting around it. And that shot there, she missed left and got around it, and that's her reaction.
So Elise Bolton, we'll see how she can react to it. They have a strong start, and again, that light hit, and this time a much more difficult lead.
She wasn't as aggressive through this shot. A little more calm, so you're loose. Ball's getting off your hand really clean. And then, you know, the lights start, the arrow comes up, and you start to grab it just a little bit. So she needs to calm down the nerves and just make good shots, because in practice she was getting it off her hand really good, and that just was a bad shot.
You see Elise's the keys to victory that you came up with for both players.
Spare shooting, and you know what was interesting about that? And I heard, because spares were so important this week, but she doesn't use a spare ball. She used to, then she stopped using it, went back to it again, and then opted, said, nope, I'm coming to this tournament, no spare ball.
She didn't like that. She dropped her shoulders almost immediately and has a makeable spare. Just taking a moment maybe to recompose herself.
Yep, struggling a little bit. She threw with her upper body there, just a bad shot. Timing, you know, once again, she hasn't thrown a good shot, not comfortable yet, needs to calm down the nerves and just get back to basics.
Oh boy, that's just a difficult start. Back-to-back opens while your opponent has started with a double. And I just read her lips and she came back and said, I can't focus.
And one of the weaknesses she said in her interview, I lose focus, and when I lose focus, it takes me too long to figure out what I got to do to get back mentally.
So Zavjalova off to, from her perspective, about as good a start as you can hope for. No trouble for her to focus at all under these conditions. And you just see the whole demeanor. Yes, she's off with a triple in her opponent's strike, but she looks relaxed. She's smiling. She looks over. She's got a corner of her teammates. Elise does not have that. Now, Elise is the student at Nebraska, but was not on their bowling team this past year. And she elected to not bowl team so she could concentrate on her budding hopes in broadcasting. They have an excellent program in Lincoln. So while she has some family here and undoubtedly some supporters who know her, there's Randy Stoughton, by the way, the women's coach at Weber. No, Diana's got a little bit more support, so if you can turn around and something like laugh at a Brooklyn, whereas Elise, you know, that's not quite there for her, and I wonder if that's a little bit of a factor.
I think Diana's confident.
Well, she has to be. I mean, you win a major championship at this age. How can it not give you a boost? So can Diana Zavjalova maintain the 300 pace? We'll find out when we return to Reno.
What is the Bowling Foundation?
With a spot in the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship on the line, we move ahead to the fifth frame. On five, and that might have been the best of them all.
Great shot by Diana. Seems to like this right lane just a little bit more hold. Hitting 12 at the arrows, out to 9, still keeping it really straight in the front. Key to this pattern, not trying to go around it too much. And her natural tendency is just to get a little axis rotation off her hand. And if she keeps her ball speed up and keeps her angle straight, it works.
Breaks you're talking about. The four pin ridden down for 6 straight.
She got this one actually a little further right, and the ball hooked up off of it. So she made a move. She's going to have to make another one. I mean, trip fours are great, but eventually they're going to stop.
Tannya Roumimper of Wichita State awaits the winner. And Bolton not getting that action, not getting that mix-up.
No, and she went back to her stronger ball on that shot. She's trying to play the same part of the lane that Diana's playing, but Diana has more axis rotation. The ball's going to come back, go through the pins. Elise has less axis rotation, which means her ball's running out of gas at the end.
Covers it nicely. Well, Zavjalova not at all nervous. No reason to be. She's handled this extremely well.
The other thing Elise can do, because she has less rotation, is just make that small move to the right. Let your ball read the pattern a little bit and let it move to the pocket on its own.
You see Elise got a double by, qualified third. She crossed over and could not get a break on that one either. She described herself as a junior and a half. She first started at Sam Houston State, moved over to Lincoln, and not 100% sure if she's going to stay at Nebraska, but she is very happy with the broadcasting school there, understandably. So let's see what her future plans are for bowling. Diana's plans are to continue to bowl as often as she can. Once she graduates, she's going to go overseas. She is from Latvia. She's going to compete over there, and then she's going to move to Las Vegas and concentrate on her bowling career.
I like how she said, well, I'm going to give it a year, see how it goes. Yeah, okay.
And how many times did you say that?
Oh, well, you're right.
It's still going.
I give.
Yeah,
I
still
give.
going. So I think once the game gets its hooks into her, and I think it already has, and let's face it, she's already a major champion and a team champion. She's got one each side Weber from a couple of years ago. Front seven. Bang.
Got this one a little bit further right down lane, out to about 8-9. Comes back. I mean, she is so in the right part of the lane. She has hold. She has a little bit of area down lane. Perfect.
Interesting in here.
Here's a key fact. I was talking to Nick Hoagland, and he's the owner of H2M Management, who created the lane pattern for this tournament. And one of the key factors he said was, as they kept bowling, believe it or not, the scores went up, and the lanes got better for the women. And you're seeing it right here.
And at least Bolton's still not able to create that action. She'll have to work a little bit harder on this spare. She realizes now the match is lost. She's trying to get the best face on it and walk out of here with the best memory you possibly can. Some strikes at the end would really help. But she ran into somebody who at the moment can't make a mistake with 8 straight for Zavjalova. And you don't know if things would have been any different if Diana had gotten off and struggled also. We'll never know because she hasn't. But Elise Bolton undoubtedly is very disappointed in the way things have turned out, but a lot of it has to do with her opponent. It's not her day, and it's not always going to be your day.
Her reaction basically is, if she moves too far right, her ball hooks early, goes to the nose. If she moves just a little bit, but she misses left, she has no hold. So she's got a little bit of wet dry. Probably needs a ball that's just even rolling, kind of stay in that 10-11 an area with a little bit of ball speed. Of course, the match is over. Easy to say now.
Right. All right, I've got to ask, at what point do you start thinking about the 300 game?
You know, I'm not sure consciously you ever really think about it. I think you know it, but I don't think you consciously think about it. I really don't. Because it is what it is. You know, I mean, I got the front eight. I know I can shoot 300. But you also won the match, so there's a little bit of a different perspective.
Right. This is not for the championship now. This is a semifinal, and you've got a player of the year awaiting you in the finals. But still, now last year, if you watched the show last year, Christina Michelson in the championship match against Tannya Roumimper opened with 10. Obviously didn't get it done, but still won the championship. But again, I just keep looking at the looseness of Diana. She's happy. I know that it's easy to be happy with the front nine, but still her whole attitude has been almost playful.
Well, the other thing is, too, I got to tell you, I mean, as we know, another, like we talked about Wichita, Weber International, great collegiate program. Randy Stoughton and Del Warren have done a great job with their athletes. And Randy and her have a great rapport. You know, these coaches, they believe in these coaches. They've worked hard with them all year. So, you know, she was ready to go when this match started. And unfortunately, someone has to win, someone has to lose.
No, Elise Bolton's an outstanding player. I mean, again, she qualified third for this event and made the show.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that. Now you see Randy Stoughton right there with the iPad. Now, Randy, you can DVR this show. All right, kids. That's 10. Randy moving for a different camera angle now. She doesn't need any water, buddy. She just needs 2 more strikes.
Light hit. I don't think she was sure the 10 was going off the deck, but you know what? What did I say? When you're loose, you're confident, you create your own luck. Those pins, they fall. I'm telling you, it's magic.
And what could be going through the minds of Tannya Roumimper? The mind of Tannya Roumimper, as she sits there, is she thinking, well, she's not doing that again?
Yeah, I hope she gets them all out this game, is what she's saying.
Exactly. For 11. No. Well, standing O from the crowd here, that was quite a show. The reigning player of the year in women's college bowling will take on the 2013 Queens champion. This is your singles final, and you'll see it next from Reno. Didn't get to 300, but a 289 is pretty good, and it gets her into an incredible match with Wichita State's Tannya Roumimper, seeds number 2 and 5. You have Diana, Queens champion, a major champion winner while still in college.
Tannya coming out with the ball change. This is the ball she threw on her fill shot in the previous game.
Here we go. That's the Wichita State colors that went down the lane that time, and a perfect shot.
Coach Mark Lewis said, it's simple. Lanes are breaking down a little bit. We're going to move a little bit parallel, change balls, still keep our speed, throw it the same way. Good shots.
So Diana threw the front 10 in that 289. But the issue is, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, Carolyn, while she was pulling away, is repeating. I mean, the odds of another 289 are long. And she doesn't get the messenger on the 10. So can she revamp? She doesn't appear to be nervous. Certainly, I don't think that's an issue here. She's incredibly relaxed. So now I guess it's just a lather, rinse, repeat.
Well, she just shot 289. I'm sure she's a lot more relaxed than she was going into the match. But the key is not to get ahead of yourself, because you still have 10 frames to win that championship. So the 289 was the last game.
Right.
This is a whole new ball game, and lanes will change, and of course nerves may set in. So she just needs to keep her focus.
And something else. Tannya did something that Elise Bolton didn't do in the entire match. Strike. Tannya threw the first ball perfectly. So let's compare the styles of these two very accomplished players.
So we have Tannya, who almost looks identical to Diana with the left arm way in front, but look at the difference right here as she's going into her slide. Look at the small space between that and her kick foot and where her ball is, okay? So she's a little bit straighter, smoother through the shot. Now let's watch Diana. Arm stays in front much longer. Look at the ball height. As it's coming down, look at the space, though it's longer between getting into the foul line and getting ready. That pivot step, she's on that pivot step longer before she clears that hip. She produces that ball roll naturally.
And she gets a kick on the 10 for a strike. So Tannya from Indonesia, Diana from Latvia. The international impact on college bowling, particularly the women's side, but the men too, is really starting to be felt the last 4 or 5 years. Two-time MVP, two-time finalist in this event. And you're getting an excellent look as to why. So she wasn't at all bothered by what happened in the previous match. Now, Tanya's made a change behind her with Gordon Vatican, of course, the accomplished head coach for Wichita State, and his wife Cindy there.
I walked by Gordon and Gordon and Cindy, and I said, if I was getting ready to bowl this match and I saw you two sitting here, I'd be slightly intimidated.
Well, I don't think Tannya is. But, you know, she kicked out Heather Melvin's brother, Seiler, or maybe he left. I don't know which. But so she switched up her support staff. It's not affecting her game.
Now, when you talked about the international bowlers, you know, they come from a very strict training regimen. And a lot of times when they bowl for the national team, they live together, they work together, they work out together in practice. So, very strict regimen.
And got a mix, and she starts with a front three.
Tannya is an excellent bowler. Her fundamentals, phenomenal. She is so aggressive through this shot. You can see by her follow through. Maybe threw it just a little too hard, but you know what? She's keeping the ball on lane and she's getting out of it really clean. And on this pattern, with it being so tight, once you make that parallel move to the left, you have to get the ball to roll.
Come on, ball. So this match is going as we thought it might. Take a look at past winners of this event. Tannya was in this last year but didn't win it. Christina Michelson threw a front 10 meter. Georgia Drews from Newman. Brittany Hamilton from Vanderbilt. We see some players. Alicia Kern, who was the top seed of the Queens one year. In 2007, she won from Wichita State. So we could have a third Wichita State. Shannon Pluhowski, talk about your accomplished bowlers. She came out of the Nebraska program. She's had a fabulous career and continues to have one.
A lot of Team USA members in that group, too. Says a lot for the Team USA program, how stout that has gotten over the years.
Well, it seems like if she's anywhere near the head pin, everything's going to go down.
And I'm telling you, it's her ball roll and it's her touch. She is so soft at the bottom that her ball is always rolling. It's clean off her hand. It has energy, even when it hits light. She's just, and I'm telling you, it has so much to do with confidence. You know, she feels good about what she's doing and how she's doing it. I had somebody tell me one time, you know, sometimes you create your own luck. And when you're not trying is really the time when you do.
Trouble here, and she got out of it. It could have been a lot worse, and you could tell by her posture that she was trying to wish that through, and then she got a makeable spare out of it in the 4-7.
Popped out of this one, a little off balance at the line. Came over the top of it.
Match like this, every little moment counts. No problem on the spare, so no let up. You're going to take intense might be the only mistake you're going to be allowed to make, and you're going to pay for it. Can Tannya Roumimper overcome this performance? Diana Zavjalova is killing it in Reno. All across the USA. Great offers, new events, and even tips to make you a better bowler. Visit gobowling.com today. We move ahead to the 7th frame. Put away the bad shots, focus on the moment, and Tannya does it again. The 2 times she didn't get a strike, she came right back with a strike, so it's far from over.
Great mental focus on those 2 shots after bad ones. Excellent.
It's going to make you happy, but that's how the only way to succeed. Mental toughness, mental strength.
Absolutely. And we have mentioned this. We have mentioned this before, that I don't think enough bowlers put enough emphasis on the mental game.
How can you? What do you do to do that?
Oh, there's a ton of things. A mental imagery, you know, shut your eyes, visualize a good shot, in through your nose, in through your mouth, out your mouth with deep breathing, to relax the body. Just a whole bunch of different things.
So there 15 of her 17 frames so far have been strikes. Did I say 16 of 18? She has that on string right now. We asked her if winning the Queens last year has given her an edge.
Oh, absolutely, because I bowled on a TV during the Queens, and so that's like a good experience I have already, which not a lot of people have. So I'm just going to take advantage of that and do what I did at the Queens.
16 out of 18 shots. She's not just scuffling around. She's blowing pins through the back. That's 7 in a row.
Great shot. She's a little deeper than everybody else has been, which is part of her game, being ahead of the transition and being left of her opponents. And because of her soft hand, she's able to create hold and a little area to the right.
Do you remember somebody saying that she's not going to throw a 289 again? Well,
I didn't say she wasn't going to.
No, that was me. Because her max is 290
exactly.
So I guess I was right. Roumimper's max is 258, and she gets to Brooklyn. Could you imagine? I guess it probably happened to you, where you put up a crazy high number and somebody beats that.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, like I said earlier, one of those things, I've done that. Shot a great game, 279. I still have 2 more matches before I win the title, you know, and you're like, okay, great, great game. And then you start the next game, ring 10, flat 7 or something, and you just got to put everything back in perspective. And one thing about the mental game with both of these girls, if you notice, their pre-shot routine is the same every time. Diana with her rosin ball wipes off her left foot. She does her practice swings before she gets on the approach. Another part of the mental game.
Well, that's a big thing golf instructors tell you about too, is the visualization. Stay steady, stay with the same routine, and it will help. And there's a mix-up. I tell you what, Tannya Roumimper has nothing to be ashamed of. She has been fantastic. And still alive for that 258. Throw a strike right now. She could throw a strike in the dark.
And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say she's going to keep it on the lane for the 10th frame.
You like her chances, do you, from here?
Crossing 13, 14 at the arrows, getting it out to 8, 9. Just a great shot, blowing the pins around. She just has it all right now.
Is that 18 strikes, right?
It's a lot. Whew.
Just a single pin spare in the first, and then 8 in a row after that. And again, Tannya Roumimper has bowled fantastic. But Tannya ran into this last year. Christina Michelson with the front 10. You know, it's just Tanya's had some bad fortune to run into somebody who's just been a little bit better, spectacularly better.
I take that as a compliment. They think she's that tough an opponent. They have to give her all.
And she is.
Yep.
Bam. Yeah. Well, the tiara she got for winning the Queens is going to get some company in her new pad in Vegas.
Crossing 14 at the arrows. Left lane had been hooking just a little bit more. Still straight through the fronts. She's just on fire. Threw it great for 2 games.
And she's done it. Tannya, I just feel for her. I mean, it's the 2nd straight year. But look at Michelson. 289. She's rolled a 233 last year. She could beat that and not win.
That's why I said, I want to make her feel better and say, you know what, they think you're that good. They have to just bring it all. They just have to bring it all to beat you. And they have. Absolutely. She could lose. And I'm really hoping that Diana strikes out here for that 290. One more to go. Might as well. This is amazing. Tanya's average could be about 240, 245, whatever. I'm just doing the math. And she gets out of it no trophy because the average of her opponents could be 289 and a half. 20 out of 22 strikes. Must we try to figure that out? This is just breathtaking. What an exhibition. Queens champion, and now ex-bowling ITC singles champion. She did it with a 290, 289 and 290 for Diana Zavjalova from Weber. What a performance! 21 strikes.
More excitement to your game. Bowl, have fun, win prizes.
You could say that's what Diana did. She went bowling, she had fun, and she's now going to win prizes. 21 strikes will do that for you. Our congratulations to Diana Zavjalova for winning the ex-bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship. Be sure to be with us next week for more from the ex-bowling Intercollegiate Championships. For scores, highlights, features, and more, log on to CBSSports.com. For Carolyn Doran Ballard and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont, thanking you for watching. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.